Hello, hello, hello. We are live today. We are live on the So Long Single podcast. Let's get some lighting going on. Send me some love, send me some hearts. Who's on with me today? You know, when you're looking backwards, can't really tell what's going on. Hello, we are live today. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see what we can do. Can we share our screen? I think we can. Right, we're going to try to share our screen. But first, let me see how we can download it. Hey, thank you for joining. I'm trying to get my technology together, okay? So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining. You are live with the relationship lady. We are talking all things relationships. And today, I left out of my SoundCloud, but that is okay. We are going to go right back to that. All right, so we are going to share our screen. I'm going to share my screen. So, hey, thank you for joining. What's up? You are here with the So Long Single podcast. Let me just share my screen really quickly. Let's see, making sure we got it. All right. Welcome to the So Long Single podcast. We are here to celebrate the journey from single, solo, doing it all by yourself, living by yourself, to connected and fulfilled through relationships. So we are going to be on this podcast platform. We are going to be exploring the intricacies, relationship building, friendships, self-love, because they are so important. Each episode, girl, is captivating. It's a blended of insightful discussions, practical advice, and inspiring stories that empower you to live your best life through the power of relationship building. So you're in for a treat today because our debut episode, I'm so excited to say, is featuring Miss Keivon Hardy. Keivon, she is the business foundation architect. And you know what? She takes your business from nothing, creating the foundation, helping you build, helping you scale, helping you grow to your next level. But today, during this podcast, she's going to be taking us on her particular journey of success, of building a successful business while navigating the complexities of friendships and love. And you know that could be super, super hard. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play the podcast.
So much for being here. I have the beautiful, talented businesswoman, Miss Keivon Hardy, here with us on the line today. Thank you for joining the podcast. Listen, I know you're super busy, and the fact that you made time for me, I really appreciate it. I met Miss Keivon. I call her Miss Keivon
Listen,
because I mean you gotta
drop your notes in
call
the
her
chat.
name.
What do you
So I
want to
met
know? What do
Miss
you want to
Keivon
hear
Hardy a
about?
few
Drop
years
your notes
ago.
in
We
the
were
chat.
having a pop up, right? And the pop-up event was great. It was a lot of amazing business women there, a lot of talent
Thank
in the
you.
room.
Thumbs up.
But after that, we developed a relationship through shared experiences. And since that time, she has been my boo. Okay. She's like, I consider you to be like one of my little sisters.
It's just all the love I feel from you. Like you're like, girl, here goes some advice. Like let's collab, let's talk about things. You ask my experience with things. It's really like having like a genuine big sister who's like, I love you. I want the best for you.
Mutual love and adoration, a true forever friend. So my sister, Keivon Hardy, is Miss Keivon.
Oh my goodness. Kivon is a multifaceted person. I believe there's so many different I believe I'm an anomaly, right? There's so many different areas and things in life that I have been exposed to, I've experienced, and I'm one of none. Like it's only me. Like I feel like I'm in a league of my own. Of course, with my sisters and like women like you, and I'm definitely like a girl's girl to the core. But Kivon is just a very multifaceted person. She's a lover of travel, champagne, business, family, friendships, and I honestly am getting to know this new version of her. She's evolved a lot, like from little Key, and she's a totally different person. And it has been, I don't say a roller coaster because it hasn't been that, but it has been very interesting learning who Kivon is in her 30s opposed to who she was in her 20s and as a kid. But she's definitely a multifaceted person who loves life. God is the center of her life, and she's just here to have fun.
All right, listen, I love what you said. Something you said really stuck out with me. Knowing who you are in this particular segment in your life, right? Because the relationship that you have with yourself is the most important. We
Most
got to pause on that for a minute, right? The relationship that you have with yourself is the most important. So being able to learn yourself again, love yourself again, overcome those obstacles. I
mhm.
told you she was going to be dropping those jewels, y'all. So you have to love yourself for who you are today and know who you are today. Forget about what happened when you was growing up, who they said you are. Forget about your future. You
And you gotta live in the present and like really decide and
present.
define who you are for you. Like I can't live my life through other people's lenses. Like I told a story the other day about how when I was a kid, my older cousin, I wanted to be like her so bad. She wore glasses, but I didn't. And she had these cute like red and blue glasses. And I had some red and blue Air Max. You grew up in the 90s, Air Max were the thing. And
Right.
I wanted to wear her glasses so bad because they matched my outfit. And I'm a little bit of a fashionista, like to put it
A
on.
lot of it, y'all.
So I begged my mom to take me to the eye doctor because I thought that I was going to be able to get glasses like her. So I'm like, yeah, let's go to the eye doctor. I'm gonna get some glasses. I can wear them with my Air Max. I'm gonna have these for a little while. I can put some fits together. Get to the eye. My mom was like, why you want to go to the eye doctor so bad? Like I'm begging her for weeks. She finally takes me to the eye doctor. And they did not have the red and blue glasses that I wanted. Actually, they didn't have any that I wanted. But my mom was like, you forced me to bring you here because you thought you were going to get glasses like her. Now pick a pair. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to pick a pair. But she got new glasses. So I'm going to take her old glasses and I'm going to wear them while I'm at school. Maybe I put those glasses on. My hair hurt from the time I got on the bus to the time I got off the bus. And one lesson that I really learned from that story, like we laugh about it now, was that you can't look at your life through other people's lenses. You don't have the
Ooh.
same vision. And
Ooh.
the vision for my life is how I define it. I can't wear her glasses. I don't have her vision. And I can't look at my life like that. The same way she can't put on my glasses and her life will look the same. Even if we repeatedly did the same things, you have to live your life based on your vision and how you want it for you. You are the main character in your story. And you got to do what feels good for you.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Listen, listen, listen. Get your notebook out. Take notes. I love the way you gave us that correlation, right? Because so many times we are trying to live the life of somebody else, especially
Mhm.
in today's fast-paced social media world.
Oh
You
my
may just
goodness.
get a segment, a snippet of somebody's life, and you're like, oh, I want to do it like this. I want to do it like that. My business is going to turn out like this. You don't know the journey behind it, right? You cannot live your life through somebody else's lenses.
No.
Your vision is your vision. I mean, I think it's pretty much done.
Wrap it up, cause
Now, I mean, like, what else can you say? But no, listen. Thank you for sharing that message because I am guilty of that as well. You know, just wanting not necessarily to live the life of somebody else, but maybe wanting the same type of results that somebody else has may receive.
mhm.
You know, it doesn't matter what type of segment of your life you're in. Maybe you're noticing somebody's relationship. You want a similar relationship. And then maybe you see their outcomes at their career. You want their similar type of career. You want to climb the ladder of success as fast as they climb. Or maybe it's even in the business realm as well. You see them making all of this money on social media or getting all these likes or having all these follows. But at the
You
end
don't
of the
know
day,
how many hours they put in. You don't know how much blood, sweat, and tears went into that. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. You can't ever want anybody else's life because God will give you a glimpse of, it and you'll be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, God, I wanted that, but not like that."
from
That's why you
right,
gotta mind your own business. You gotta mind your business.
mind your business and wear your own glasses. Okay.
Hmm.
Tell us about how you became the entrepreneur, ENTREPNEWER, that you are today. That's the name of her business,
So also
Entrepreneur
live
Oh my goodness.
on
So my business journey,
IG.
the journey of becoming an entrepreneur started back in 2011. And I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, that was a good book.
It literally, I know a lot of people say it changed their lives, and I am one of those people. It just
Definitely.
sparked something different in me. So at this point, I want to say 22, 23. I had packed up all of I was supposed to go to grad school. I packed up all of my stuff in a couple suitcases, took my $1,500 in savings, and moved to New York by myself.
Oh, wow.
And I started working there, and the hustle of New York, it just do something to you. You
Different.
girl. You know,
I'm a New York girly, so I definitely know. So when I moved away from New York, I'm like, these people.
right. They ain't got no hustle. And like being
Right,
from Chicago and from a family hustle, it was just ammunition that I needed even more. Like I'm away from home. Like if I was at home, I would definitely be getting to it. But now I'm away from home and I'm in
right.
this environment where everybody is getting to it no matter what industry they're in.
It
Um,
sparked something within you.
it sparked something within me. So I read this book and I'm like, what could I do that is going to I tweeted it actually, and I could go back on my tweets to that day. I tweeted and I said, God, I want to live a life where I'm able to have a career that allows me to travel the world, eat decadent foods, and explore different cultures.
Mm,
This is before I even dibbled and dabbled into like the flight attendant world. And I was like, I read the book and I was like, what can I do that's gonna put me on the road to do that? Right. Everything is calculated at this point. I'm
mhm.
like, boom, I could start a travel agency. So I do my research. I find this company called Montrose Travel out in California that basically white gloves the service for you. You just put
Ooh.
logo on it. They give you trainings on how to work the software and do all
Right.
the things. And I was like, okay, this is going to be my first business. And it started there. And from there, it was just like, I love
What's up? What's up? What's up?
being an
We are
entrepreneur. And
live. We are
so
at the listening party
a little
for the
prior to that,
So
I had
Long
got an
Single
operational
podcast.
management
Episode
certification called
one.
Six Sigma. And it
Episode
basically
one. We are speaking
helps
with
businesses
Miss
operate
Keivon
as
Hardy.
close to,
She is known
perfect
as
as
the
possible, or it digs into
foundation
their operation
architect.
to see,
She
because
builds
it's like I like
businesses,
how
but
things
on this
work. And
episode,
so
she's
Right.
showing us
it's
how to
like a
do
one
both.
to one with
She's helping us
entrepreneurship.
navigate the
This
lives of
business,
building a
I head into
successful
a different direction in my
business
career.
for
I don't
more
quit my job, it's a side
while
hustle, but
also
it's
building and
bringing in money. I'm
cultivating
getting discounts
relationships, whether
on
it's romantic
travel. I'm able to do
relationships
the
or
things
friendships.
that I love
Right
to
now,
do.
we are just
From there, I
listening in.
switched
And if
careers,
you're late,
which
that's okay.
I
You
became
missed
a
some
flight
great
attendant,
jewels on
and
the
I'm
launch on
traveling
the
even
live
more.
launch.
I'm
But
loving it,
you
but
can
I'm
click
still
the
feeling
link in my
unfulfilled
bio
in
to
certain
listen
ways when it
to the
comes to business.
podcast
I'm
from
like,
the
oh, I like
beginning
having my
to
own.
end.
I like having
Go to
extras. Like, I love
soundcloud.com/the
operations. So
relationship
my
lady
sister and I
slash
started a nonprofit
episode one.
organization
That's
in Miami,
soundcloud.com
an educational
slash
mentoring program for high school girls. And
THERELATION
it was amazing, but it was a lot of
the
hurdles to
relationship
jump
lady
through when
slash
you're working
episode
with
one.
I would say a lower socioeconomic population and them actually wanting to help
Yeah.
and not being of much assistance. It's like, okay, another program to help. Okay,
Mhm,
figure it
mhm.
out. And it's like,
Right.
these kids need this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
trying to prove to someone, but honestly, we didn't even have to prove it. We took our proposals into schools, into the principal's office without meetings, and they were like, "Oh yeah, put this in our
Count me up. Right.
yeah, put this in our schools." So that was kind of like the second business that I started, and then we were running that and operating that until I had my son in 2019. And then after he passed away, I actually used business to help pull me out of the grief. It was the only thing that I knew that I'm not going to say wouldn't leave me, but I will say when you're in a dark place and there's a dark cloud over you and you're looking for something that feels familiar, business was that for me. I had high anxiety. I was severely depressed. I just didn't want to be around people. So like I was just like in my rabbit hole. And the only thing I knew that could comfort me at that time was like business. And so I called my sister out of the blue one day. After she had been blowing my phone up for 2 days and I wasn't answering because I didn't want to talk to anybody at the time. I just called her. She's like, okay. I like, what's up? And I was like, let's start a business. And she's like, what? I was like, let's start another business. Like, let's start a corporate housing company. There's over 160 people moving to Charlotte a day. We have experience in the travel and hospitality industry. Let's start a corporate housing company.
Check and check. Right.
Yeah, I've done the research. This is what we need. This is what we got to do. This was June of 2019. July of 2019, business was up and running. We were moving into our first year because
Wow.
I had was time and opportunity. And it helped to pull me out of the depression because I began to get excited about something because like I said, I love business, I love operations. And so day in and day out, I may not be, engaging with the public or people because honestly, I don't have the words to say and they don't have the words to say to me. I'm grieving at this point, but that was the one thing that I technically could talk to that was not gonna talk back. Like
Right.
I didn't have to, it was just me and my laptop and figuring it out. And I had time and space to do it on my time. And in the midst of that, like a year later, like we're still running this business, people are asking me, like, how did y'all start this? Like, how have you done all these things? And I got hired for a record label actually to write a business plan. Granted, I didn't have Instagram and TikTok and all the things that people have now when I first started my business back in 2011. So it really was me boots to the ground doing the research and like reaching out to people and calling people and asking people to be my mentor. Which some people oblige, some people give me information here and there, but I was searching for, I was hungry. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write an ebook and I'm gonna just give y'all the steps to do it because I am one thing I didn't say about myself is I'm a business formation coach. I specialize in business development and structure. And one thing people don't realize is no matter what industry you're in, no matter what type of business you have, the structure is always the same. I'm gonna give you the blueprint. Like you could call me the business formation architect. I'm gonna give you the blueprint. We're gonna build this business. All I care about is the foundation. You can go figure out all the other things on your own. I write this ebook and people are like, okay, this is great. I got the business started. I need help running it. People started reaching out to me like, hey, can you consult me? Can you be my mentor? Can you coach me? And I kind of didn't expect it. I just expected to do the ebook, have another stream of passive income and, selling on the platforms and be done with it. And then
Right.
started reaching out to me for coaching and I was like, maybe I'm cooking with grease over here. Maybe I got some. It started from there and I started, coaching. Well, not only did I have the experience in actually being an entrepreneur and starting business, like my first business was a sole proprietorship. I done started a nonprofit.
Okay.
I ran LLCs. And so not only am I telling people how to run a business, I'm actually running a businesses too at the same time. Yeah, I'm feeling my way forward the same way. Like being an entrepreneur is a lifelong learning journey. And I think some people think, oh, because you're an expert in this, that you don't have hiccups, you don't fail, things don't go wrong. And it's like, no, I'm running a business too. Like, and I'm not just my business isn't just telling you how to start a business. I'm actually running a business as well. And so I can consult you and coach you through the process based on learned experiences, lived experiences, and research. So that's where we are. And that's how Entrepreneur got started because I've been new more times than I haven't. And I want to help people structure their business. Like my target audience is us. I love us for real. It's Black people, right? But I'm open to helping everybody. But I think as Black people, we're taught more how to be employees instead of entrepreneurs. And I want people to know, like, it's very easy to open a business. It's harder to operate one, but here's the fundamentals to do so. And it is possible. Like, you don't have to be an employee all of your life.
I like that. Well, first of all, let me stop and offer you my condolences on the loss of your son.
Thank
I'm so glad that you were able to pull yourself out, but I know how hard and, treacherous that journey was for you. And the fact that you actually are sitting here today with a smile on your face, living again, teaching again, helping again, growing again, that says a lot about your character and your willingness to succeed. So, again, my condolences. And I know that your baby is looking down on you, very proud of what he of his mom, just like inspiring other women, living that blueprint, the architectural foundation formation architect. So thank you so much for sharing that story. I know that can be kind of hard and touches on the heart.
is, God doesn't make any mistakes. And so, I'm still here for a reason. So, just got to
Okay.
live through it.
But you're living through it. Your reason is to help us, okay? Because we definitely need some help. One thing that you said was that you started in 2011 as an entrepreneur. You had a dream, you had a vision, and you just started working, working, working. Fast forward over 10 years later, you're still in business, still trying to figure it out. You mentioned failing forward, and I think that's a great concept because a lot of times we think that your business is supposed to pop in just 1 year. We think that your business is supposed to pop just because you started it and now you have all of the answers. However, it is also okay to pivot. So you just gave us a lot of good information. You told us that your business still has to keep going. You still have to invest in your business. You still have to fail in your business, no matter what stage of business you're in. And then you also told us about pivoting, right? Because you pivoted a few times to get you to where you are. So, a word of encouragement to all of my ladies that are listening who have businesses, continue to strive. The success that she had did not happen overnight, but it started with one step.
Girl, it takes
One
years to become
step.
an overnight success.
Exactly. So it started with one step. So keep going. Do not give up. If you need to pivot, pivot. And it's okay. Don't get locked into what you think your vision is. Remember, the vision is through your lenses. So you can create and rewrite the story as many times as you want. So you've done a lot. I feel like, you should be all done it all, done it all, right? Some profits,
Right.
you don't hire the shifts. So you've done it all, right? So with you being able to kind of like dip and dive and, build your businesses, I want to know how hard has it been to overcome challenges while you're running a six-figure business, a successful business, while also being able to develop your relationships and then also nurturing your old relationships. How do you overcome some of those challenges?
It is challenging, right? I think that now in my life specific, so I'll first speak to like friendships and family or relationships. I am a family oriented person. I'm a girl's girl. I'm here for my friends. I'm gonna show up. You having something? I'm gonna show up to the best of my
Let's
ability.
show up, right?
I'm gonna try to be there because I also am a travel professional. I'm not always on the ground. I'm not always easily accessible. I am not always able to make it. My life is not routine to say the least. um,
When she had an idea, she wrote her vision and made it plain. Write down what you want. Speak it into existence.
I love my life, right? But it does make me inaccessible at times. So I think that I kind of had to shift the narrative of how I wanted to be seen by like my family or friends, or how I wanted them to accept me and understand like this is my life. I love it. But that means that I may not always be accessible to you. So I am not the consistent friend or family member. You're not going to talk to me every day. You're not, I may be traveling into, I have business to run. So I'm going to be the dependable friend. I'm going to be the dependable family member. If you need something, I will. If it's dire, first of all, I'm on the way because I make my schedule. That's one. Two, I'm gonna call and check in. You gonna call and check in. Like we're gonna. This is gonna be a mutually beneficial relationship. You
Right.
can't. You can't just take because I have to fill my cup first. And so now I can only pour from the overflow because for so many years I was pouring from a cup with holes in it. And so now, they have to realize like, I'm dependable. Yes, you can depend on me. Yes, you can call me and text me, but if you expect me to do it all day, every day, no. My life is not a reality TV show. I'm not sitting around gossiping with you all day. I'm not sitting around talking about nothing. Like it just does not fit in my space of life right now. Now we can have a girls' night, we can have a wine night, or we can have dinner, or we can go to a family reunion and we can shoot the shit. We can do stuff like that. But consistently every single day, I can't do it with you. So they know that about me now. So it's accepted. At first, it was just like, where's she at? Why she ain't here? Why she ain't answering the phone? Her phone on airplane mode. Why it's going to
Right.
voicemail? You said you was coming in town for 5 days, but you only staying 2. And it's like, baby, I gotta
Find
keep
that
it
stuff
in
to
and
do.
out.
Right.
Like I can't. That's just not the life that I live anymore. And so, I had to kind of explain that. Like you can't expect the same things from me. And you should, if you're in the same season of your life that you were in 10, 20 years ago, that's on you. That is not on me. And that is,
You're right, no judgment, but it's on you.
yeah, but it's on you. And so I try to nurture relationships, especially because I am inaccessible. A lot of times I try to really nurture my relationships and let people know exactly who I am. One, when they meet me, but also like older relationships and like people that have been in my life all my life, just explain to them and give them the same grace that I want them to give to me, and like understanding how my life works. We have conversations. It's very much a conversation, and it's not I'm never ghosting. I'm never just not showing up. There's always a conversation. There's always an explanation from me. And I know a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't have to explain my life to people. And sometimes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you want them to understand your perspective, because one, hurt requires no intention. So if I hurt your feelings by not showing up to something, or I hurt your feelings by leaving early for something that you had planned, that wasn't my intention. And so I want to explain that, because I want to offer you the same grace and understanding me that I want you to offer me by not being readily available.
So
So
I hear you saying respecting, respecting boundaries, respecting relationships, respecting the change in life that you have with older relationships.
yeah, and they get it, they get it. They understand like Keivon lives a different life. And so one, we're happy when she shows up, which she shows up a lot of the time. Like a lot of the times I'm running off of 3 hours of sleep and a prayer. Like, Lord, just get me through this day so I can catch a nap.
Speaking it.
And they get it, they understand. Like I really haven't had an issue with people being like, oh, you don't show up for me, or you're never around. Because I'll fly the 7 seas to show up for my people when I can. And they get it, they understand now. But in the beginning, it was a lot of conversation. Like, okay, so like this is how my life works now,
Right.
and
So
like
it sounds like
explaining it.
okay, so you've eased them into that then pretty much, because I know when you first introduced that to them, they're like, wait, what? They probably didn't get it. They probably took it to the heart or took it very personal.
I am setting my life up to live it which in the way that best pleases me. So,
Well,
you kind of got to understand it. Like, and if you don't want to be my friend anymore, like, and she's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just so used to talking to you every day. I'm used to being
you was
able.
ready to cut that relationship off.
I'm ready to cut it off, but I don't want you to think that I'm being a bad friend. I don't want you to think that I'm shafting you. Like, I'm very big on character, and I believe that I have good intentions, and I don't like my character being questioned or slighted in any way. And so I wanna explain it. But if I don't meet your expectations, then let me know, because I don't want you to think I'm a bad friend, and I don't want you to be a bad friend to me because you think that I have ill intentions, because I don't. Negative energy just has no place here. And of course, we all get upset. We all have things that happen and have
Yeah, of course, right.
like different perspectives and negative perspectives about things. But when it comes to my friends and my family, like, no, I love y'all for real. And that's never my intention.
Did you write that down? I told you to get your notebooks out and your pens out. Set the expectations for your relationships, right?
Mm.
Whether it's new relationships, older relationships, relationships that you need to work on a little bit harder because there has been some type of contention or strife. Set the expectations, because when you do that, it has a different result for you, right? You no longer have that pressure of feeling like you have to go above and beyond when you're still trying to juggle your own particular life. You no longer have that pressure or animosity from the other end when you're not able to show up all the time. Have those tough conversations to create the relationships that you want, that you need, that you thrive in. Because we all know relationships matter, relationships make the world go round. So why not have fulfilling relationships, as Key mentioned, that are mutually beneficial?
When it comes to dating, though, it's a different story.
Talk about the dating. Come on, let's get it. Ladies, get your pens ready. Let's talk about the dating, right? So we're talking about overcoming challenges when you're nurturing relationships. We talked about past relationships and friends and family, things like that. about love relationships. Talk about those love goals. How do you nurture new relationships? So you just mentioned you're always traveling, you're
Mhm.
busy, you're helping women with their foundations for their business. You're the architect. You're like running your own businesses. You're helping friends and family. Introduce a new love interest into your hectic but fulfilling life. Some of the conversations you have. How do you do that? How do you date? Questions.
Well, now 35-year-old Kevon dates very differently than hell, even 34 and 33-year-old Kevon.
Real life. Talk about
Uh,
it.
yeah, so the earlier years in my life, I probably spent a good 10 years in relationships, like from like college. Well, actually like high school till I was probably in a relationship from like 15 to like 26.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Two relationships. They both were just very long
Okay.
relationships. And
Okay.
then like I was just like dating here and there. I've had a few other boyfriends since then, but now dating is completely different for me. And I'm more intentional and strategic about how I date. And now in new relationships, when I meet a man, I one will not go out on a date with him for at least a week, no matter when I meet him. If I meet him on a Monday, I will not go on a date with him until after the next Tuesday. If I meet him on a Saturday, he can't get my time until the next Sunday because I need to be strategic about where I'm spending my. I have become more organized and detail oriented. I think specifically in my business life, but I've let it spill over into my personal life because it's brought me a sense of peace. So like even being busy now, I don't feel overwhelmed because it goes on my calendar. I'm writing it down. I'm making sure I'm intentional about where I spend my time. So if I'm going to spend my time with a man and I'm being strategic and intentional about how I'm dating now because I want to date for marriage, I need to know that one, I can have a conversation with you that does not involve you just talking about my body, that will mentally stimulate me, yeah, and does not, and to have a conversation to see who you are. And if we can't do that prior to us going on a date, then I don't want to go on a date with you. Like, you know how sometimes, like, I feel like when I was younger, I would meet guys and they'd be like, "Oh, what you doing tomorrow? Let's link up." And I'm like, okay, what kind of free? So, like, I'll be in town. So, like, set something up and you'll set something up and then you haven't even had a conversation with this man and then you get there and you realize you talking to fucking Elmo.
Right.
Like, it's in my language, but you realize that, or you realize that you can't have a mentally stimulating conversation with this person, or really y'all have nothing in common. Y'all shouldn't have went on a date in the first place. Y'all just may have been physically attracted to each other, but that doesn't always equal compatibility. And of course, that's part of the dating process. You find out through it that you may not always be compatible with people, but now I'm just very much more strategic about questions that I ask, the time that I dedicate, and more strategic about the phases of dating. I had a lot of healing that I needed to do as a person. I was dating all wrong. And now I'm more strategic about the phases of dating. If I meet you today, one, sir, you cannot expect me to clear my calendar for you and I just met you. Technically, you are still a stranger. You need to earn my time. And there are phases of dating. There is the you're courting me phase. We decide we're dating phase, the boyfriend, and then so on and so on. I am not giving you boyfriend treatment in the courting phase.
That's right.
I'm not doing that, and I have found myself doing that in the past. We're like, he's courting me, we're dating, and you getting all these benefits, and it's like one, you haven't even earned them, and two, do I even really like you enough to be doing this, or is it just who I am? And a lot of times it's just who I am. Like I'm a nurturer, but I'm not clearing my schedule for you. I cannot make you a priority on day two of knowing you. And if I don't even know if I want you to make me a priority on day two of knowing you in that sense, because what else do you have going on in your life? I need you to have your own identity. I need you to be your own person. I need you to have your own things going on. Now, if you have free time, okay, cool, but you've known me for 48 hours and you're wiping everybody else out to say, hey, I want to. That's a little strange to me. And it's like,
Up on the clues, ladies.
yeah, now I'm picking up on clues and red flags and yellow flags and even the green flags of things that I desire in a mate. And so it's just dating has just become a lot more strategic. And so new relationships, one, you can't get my time immediately. We need
Okay.
to be able to have conversations and things in common. And I'm more strategic about the questions that I ask because I need to know more about substance, your character, and your personality and who you really are before I associate myself with you.
Okay, so they're all great tips. Make sure you guys write that down. I'm telling you, she's giving us all the information. Okay, she's telling us what we need to do. Okay, so you go through that whole process, right? And you
Mhm.
mentioned that you're asking them questions. Do you feel like when you're speaking with somebody that you said is still a stranger, because technically they are, when you
Mhm.
ask questions, do you feel like those questions can kind of be what you want them to be as far as their responses? Maybe they know you're looking for a particular response. How do you vet them as far as if they're genuine or not in those particular responses?
So I like to ask conversational style questions, and also I like to give examples as if it happened to someone else. So, like if I'm talking to a man, I'm like, yeah, so one of my friends, like she was telling me her boyfriend said that she should quit her job and blah blah blah, and he'll take care of her fully, and she's like, no, I don't want to quit my job, and she asked me for advice, and like I don't know what to tell her because I don't know if I would quit my job, and then you I put it on someone else, or I come up with a scenario, or it's like, oh yeah, I'll do stuff like that to see what their response is and not tailor it to myself. And I'll say something completely outlandish to see how they respond to
What
what.
their mindset is, right? And how they respond.
Yeah.
And that is a great tactic. That's something that I tell my ladies to do as well, because you want to start those conversational topics, right? Because asking a question that only offers a yes or no response is not getting you to the meat and potatoes of who this person is.
Yeah,
So
and also asking questions like, "So, do you want to have kids? Do you want to be married?" A lot of people have tailored their answers in their head. When you give scenarios or things like that, putting it on someone else, it removes you from the situation, and so they really don't have to be objective when they look at it, even though you want them to be. And they like, "What? That's crazy," or
right.
relate, like, and it's like, "Oh, you do." Okay.
Yeah, you kind of feel them out. So make sure, ladies, that again, have your notes ready because she's giving you a lot of the tips that you can start applying today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but you can start using these today. Some of you might even have a date set up for later. And you
Mhm.
met the guy yesterday. Schedule that date. You don't have to look thirsty. You don't have to be readily available. Let them think about you a little bit more. And in between that time frame, a couple of phone conversations.
Yes, be having
Let them warm it up a little bit.
hmm I'm definitely more so about like having the conversation now because sometimes you click up with people or you date people and you're like, oh my God, like, are we friends? And I think friendship is the foundation of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you find somebody, they're attractive, y'all start doing grown people things, and it's like, but can we
You
do
don't like them like that.
that? Right? You don't even like the person. It's like, do I genuinely like you? Are you my friend? Like, how do we connect? Because
Because
men and women want different things in relationships, and it's like it's anatomy. One, we're wired different, but like, how do you figure those things out? If one, you become physical early on, and it's just like that's like a sexual chemistry, or if it's like they're cool, and I think we're cool by ourselves, but how do they interact with their friends? How do they interact with their family? Do they have friends and family, or are you going to be the light of their life? I do not want to be someone's whole world. Yeah.
and I agree, definitely. And then how do they relate in public? How do they interact in public? How do they treat the waiter? How do they treat people around them? Are they mean? Are they egotistical? All of those things matter. And you mentioned friendship. I think friendship is super, super important. That's something that bonded myself and my husband. I've been happily married for over 14 years now. And
Yes.
it was just, yeah, let's talk about that, right?
Like,
Relationships
that's
do
something to be
exist.
celebrated.
There's something to be celebrated. Marriage is still at the forefront. So don't let people bash your head up, say, marriage doesn't exist anymore. It absolutely totally does when you have that foundation, when you build that friendship and that bond with somebody who is compatible. Let me not
Mhm.
forget that. So, when you're dating, you're meeting somebody, you're doing all those things as a super successful entrepreneur. Remember, that's entrepreneur, NEW, as an entrepreneur. But how do you know when you're dating this particular person if they can match your fly, if they could, pour into your life without being jealous, if they can pour into your life
Jealous
without
with
trying to
them.
dim your light?
I think now it's more so about. actions. When it comes to that, it's about actions and not words. Like, are you trying to make my life easier? Like, if you hear me talking about like, oh, I have to create content, or like, oh, I'm running a webinar and my ring light went out. Are you trying to make my life easier? Are you like, oh, I ordered you a ring light, don't worry about it. Oh, I got
Right.
you a screen. And it's not even just about the gifting things or asking like, how was
You
your
trying to hold that light up for me, the regular lamp, like what?
yeah,
Yeah.
how do you make my life easier? And are you fully full on supporting me? Or what is your attitude towards what I'm doing? Do you have an issue with the type of clients that I work with? Because I have dealt with that before where someone I was dating, I'm not gonna say try to dim my light, but definitely I think a lot of times when you tell men that you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, they expect you to be like they expect it to be like something small or like a side hustle or something like that that you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, it's just
Little
gonna
pocket
be just
change.
something that I play with, like, it's just like a project. And then when men meet me and I'm like on business calls or going to business meetings or conferences. Like I have a conference to go to next week, or I'm like, oh, I got a speaking engagement. It's like, oh, you really do all the things that you said you do. Like,
Well, are you for real? Oh,
yeah, it's
wait.
like I think because he wasn't where he wanted to be in life, that's where some of the jealousy came in. But we're both building. Like I'm never finished.
Right.
Never finished. Like there's
I'm
always
going.
another level to unlock, and sometimes that requires me becoming a new person or a different person or a different variation of who I am at my core. But now it's more so about, are they making my life easier? Do they ask questions? Is what I'm doing dismissed or diminished? Like remarks, like I have to pay attention to everything. And
Right.
I would say lately I haven't been meeting. I've been because I've been more intentional about the type of man that I want to meet and also who I am and walking in that confidence myself. The men that I've been meeting now, I was like, oh my God, like you do. How do you do it? Like teach me the game goes. And I'm like, I got you, like
That's
it's
awesome.
never, and it's all I think I also am I love to learn, right?
Right.
Knowledge. And we say knowledge is power, but knowledge is such a beautiful thing to me. Um,
Yeah.
and so being able to be with a man that I can learn from, even if it's not about entrepreneurship, like he could be working a corporate job, he could own his own plumbing business. Like
Right.
he could be doing anything. But if I can learn from you and you can pour into me in ways that I may not have the ability to, and I can pour into you into ways that you may not have the ability to do for yourself. If we can create alchemy, that is a beautiful thing to me.
I'm telling you, that is definitely a beautiful thing, and that is what relationships are built on, and that's
Mhm.
what helps relationships last. Because again, phrase of the day is mutually beneficial.
I may not be the best in this area, but if you're great there and I don't have to use my brain there,
Yeah,
thank you. Because as a business owner, we have to operate in masculine energy a lot, right?
a lot.
And so when I am working with people and running my business, I know I have to step into that. But at home, I don't want to be that. I
You
want to
want to turn it off?
softest, most feminine person. Like I don't want to have to think. I do not want to be a leader. I don't want to be in control. I'm the oldest daughter. I'm the oldest
Mm.
granddaughter. So I'm in charge of a lot of other things in my personal life
Wow.
still, which still requires me to be in masculine energy because I'm in charge.
Right.
Man, babe, I don't want to be in charge. I want to
Just
let
want
you
to go with the flow. You
yeah,
want to
I
be
have
like
no
water.
problem with being like submissive or in the correct sense of the word. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no
So that's
problem.
the dirty word when you talk about in relationships, right?
Yeah.
We'll save that for another conversation. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I'm
you
not your
can't be
slave, but
submissive.
I'm okay with being submissive. I'm okay with being domestic. Baby, I could clean, do it all. But you have to be a leader and I have to know where you're leading me to for me to follow. And if I know that you have a plan for us, not just for you, if you have a plan for us, I'm gonna follow wherever you lead me to. And that means that you accept who I am. You not trying to dim my light. You at my speaking engagements in the back, like, yeah, that's my baby up front. You know what I'm saying? You asking me questions, asking how can you help? How was my day? Was and vice versa. I'm doing the same. So once again, if it's mutually beneficial, I feel like I don't have to worry about you trying to dim my light. Like you may hit me up and say, oh, I saw this I saw this on Instagram or I saw this on TikTok. Like this may be an opportunity for you, or like, did you hear about this grant? Or
Support, support,
something.
support,
Yeah.
support in any type of way, form, or fashion. support. You need a spouse or a mate or whoever, somebody you're dating, a companion to show support. But I want to go back to what you said about, the submissive word, the dirty word that people hate. Which I don't mind being submissive. Um,
Same.
but like you said, it has to be kind of makes sense, right?
Mhm.
But with that, that's also kind of like the wrong thinking because when you have a man, the man of your house or household who is the leader, sometimes you don't know his vision. You don't know where he wants to lead you. Sometimes you just have to trust in that man. Is
And that's
that something
okay.
you would be willing to do? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, you
that's okay. When I say I need to know where I'm leading, I need to know that at the end of the day, the end game is this is for us.
damn.
I don't have to. I'll get in the car without knowing the directions to where we're going, but I know that this is a plan for us.
Right.
That's what I mean by like knowing where I'm going or knowing where he's leading us to. He's leading us to a destination that is going to be beneficial for us. I don't need to know the directions. I don't need to look at the GPS. I'm getting in the car. I'm riding shotgun. I control the radio. What you want to listen to?
Okay. You be the
You know,
co-pilot.
as a Christian woman too, I feel like if a man is submissive to God first,
Mm,
he understands what a wife's submission to him is.
correct.
And if
That's
I understand that and we're both submitting to God, then I have no problem. I'm not gonna argue with God about that. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. I have no problem with being submissive because one, we're submitting to God's will in our life. And then two, I'm submitting to you as my husband in the order of the way that things should go.
like Mama D said, in that order. Okay.
Yeah. In that order,
In
period,
that
point
order.
blank.
I had a girlfriend, right? We were talking about leadership and following, and I was asking her about, following her man or whatever. She was like, "Girl, I be trying to follow him, but every time I follow him, he leads me down a dark damn tunnel. I looking having to figure it out on her own, or for the benefit of the family." So I understand what you mean with that, some type of direction. Don't just be leading us in no dark tunnel.
Right. And I think that's something that you find out during the dating phase. Like, where are you leading us to?
Yeah, if you're dating
When you
someone,
have conversation, is it conversations about where we going? And I feel like at this age now, like, no, I'm not in my 20s anymore. So like, what have you done in your life that makes me trust that you're a good leader?
to have his own goals, right? You just can't be
Yeah.
figuring it out on a day-to-day basis. Like, where do you want to go? Where is your GPS telling you that your next spot is, right? Because if you travel without knowing your destination, you're aimlessly traveling. You're
Yeah, you're
aimlessly.
just driving down a lonely road. But like, what have you done in your life? What have you done for the people in your life? Like, what goals, like you said, what goals have you set? And so if I can see the fruits of your labor for yourself, that better helps me understand who you are and trust that you can lead not only you, but you can lead me too. But if you don't have no prerequisites or you like you don't have a resume I can look at, it's just like, yeah, I'm just out
Go
here.
with the flow.
Yeah, at 35, 40 years old, you just been out here living. Like we've been grown for a while
You're
now.
out here trying to figure it out, girl. Life be
And
life.
I'm not saying that people don't start over careers and do things at later ages in life. That is not what I'm saying, y'all. So don't go back and say what she said. Da, da, da. No, that is not what I'm saying. But
Not to take away.
that, like, right, because this can be a pivot. Like, you know what I'm saying? But what have you done in your life to make me trust that you're a good leader and that you are a good decision maker? Because that's the part of being a good partner is being a good decision maker.
And you know what, y'all? Come on, let's pause right here because a lot of people that are listening are females, right? And sometimes we put all of this on the man. The man that you're trying to meet, trying to date, has those same expectations for his future spouse or future mate as well. So,
Hmm.
what's the direction in your life? Where are you trying to go? I know a lot of women don't like that question.
They hate, what do you bring to the
What do you
table?
bring to the table? There you go.
That's not my favorite question either because I feel like it's so scripted now. Like I don't like it.
And it be, yeah.
It's so fake. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like
So
that.
while I don't like the question or we may not like the wording, the fact of the matter remains, what do you bring to the table? It pretty much summarizes everything that Keivon was telling us today. What is the direction of where you're trying to go? How can you add value to my life? How can you support me in my dreams and my visions? How can you
Mhm.
add value? So when you're thinking about how you want your mate to add value to your life, about those same things that he would want from a mate as well. Especially if he is like grinding, doing his thing, if he's like climbing that ladder of success, if he's starting a business, if he's helping communities, People want somebody that is like-minded, that matches their fly, matches their energy. They're not going to want somebody who doesn't have any goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And if you do find somebody who doesn't care about that, the chances are because
They
they're
can't
just
find me
aimlessly
either.
going through life, right? So, Miss Key, you shared a lot of information with us today. Thank you for everything. I hope you ladies
Thank
wrote
you for
down your
having
tips.
me.
Yes, of course. But before I let you go, I want
Mm.
to know what is one of your relationship tips that you want to share with a younger version of yourself?
Oh man, little girl, put God first, number one, in your life in general, like, and when it comes to dating, everything, but also keep you first and keep something for yourself. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Keep at least one for yourself because that's the golden egg, and that's the one you don't want to crack.
Oh,
Keep something for yourself from everybody. Like when you start dating, when you become a mom, when you get married, all the things you have to keep
Come here,
a piece
Fiona.
of you. You can't be everything to everybody else unless you're you to you and whoever that is in the process of you figuring that out.
I
Keep
love
that
that.
golden egg.
Keep that golden egg. Wow. You know how they say a bird in the hand beats two in the bush? Keep that golden. Keep that bird which is yourself, who's laying that egg to yourself. Okay, keep one for yourself. That's that golden egg. The golden egg is everything. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing tips. Thank you so much for being so candid about your life and sharing your stories. We are so excited that you were able to join us today. We look forward to speaking to you again. We cannot wait to see all of the amazing things that you develop, all of the people that you help. How can we find you? Where can we meet you at? What is your website? Give us your socials.
Okay, so first, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure sitting here having a conversation with you. Yeah, this was great. I hope that the listeners, I hope y'all got something from this. But y'all can find me across all platforms at Keivon Hardy. The only platform that is different is TikTok. I am Business Coach Key over on TikTok. But everything else, it is at Keivon Hardy across all socials. You can go to my website. It is www.entrepreneur guide, and entrepreneur is spelled entrepreneurguied.com.
Go to her website, grab that guide. Thank you, Key.
Bye.
Thank you so much for being here. I have the beautiful